Good morning, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Today, we will see what is the concept of generic, branded, and fake drugs. A lot of people have misperception regarding the quality of generic and branded medicine. Both are prescribed by doctors. Both have same active compound. You are not alone to worry that generic drugs are cheap and could have lower quality. But the reality is that it is not as you think. The regulating body strives to make generic drugs as safe and efficient as branded drugs. When you are at a chemist shop, you have two choices. You can buy a generic or a branded drug. But what exactly is the concept of this generic and branded drugs? Why are generic drugs 80 to 85% cheaper than the corresponding branded drugs? Let us go into the basics of this concept. The invention of the drug is a long, expensive, and exhaustive process. It involves discovery, research, testing, development, production, and marketing of the drug. For a pharmaceutical company to market and sell its product, it must fulfill requirements and gain approval from the US FDA, United States Food and Drug Administration, by submitting a new drug application. Upon approval, company obtains a patent as a sole manufacturer and seller of the drug. The patent is usually for 20 years from the date on which the application for the patent was submitted. Upon expiry of the patent, other companies can apply to the US FDA to manufacture and sell the same branded drug, which are now its generic versions. Let us understand this concept with an example. We are having a drug. Let us take a drug with a chemical name. This drug is familiar to everybody. That is why I have taken this example. Let us take a drug. It is IUPAC name. Its chemical name is N-acetyl para-amino phenol. N-acetyl para-amino phenol. This is its IUPAC name. IUPAC means International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry. This is the uh, this is responsible for the nomenclature of newly new compounds, newly synthesized compounds. The brand name or the manufacturing name or the brand name for this drug is Panadol. This is the drug N-acetyl para-amino-phenol. Panadol is its brand name or or uh, this is also known as proprietary name. You often say branded drug. I have taken branded drug. Brand means Branded drug means this drug is under patent. Company has named this drug as a trademark. This brand name is that is this is also the trademark of the company of the manufacturer. For this compound, its brand name is Panadol. Okay. Now the patent for this compound ended. Sorry, let me tell you first. It has another name. That name is called generic name. Generic name. The generic name for this drug is paracetamol. Everybody is familiar with this drug, paracetamol. This is antipyretic drug and mild analgesic drug. So, generic name is paracetamol, and it is also called Acetaminophen, acetaminophen in USA. In USA, you don't hear the term paracetamol. Here it is called acetaminophen. Also in Japan. Japan. The patent for this compound it ended in 2007. After 2007, uh, some companies across the world they applied to the US FDA and they got approval to manufacture its versions, to manufacture other versions of this drug. Those versions are called as generic versions. Generic versions. Since 2007, we are having numerous versions of the paracetamol. Those are known as generic versions. Now, the generic versions contain the same active ingredient, same active compound, same level of safety strength, dosage. This all is same. They can't compromise with these things. Uh, However, the generic version of the paracetamol they may differ. They may differ in few aspects. They may differ in appearance. Size, shape, and color they may differ. Generic versions also differ in inactive ingredients. Although the active compound that is paracetamol or an acetyl para-aminophenol that is same in branded as well as in generic versions. However, appearance may differ. Inactive ingredients which are also called excipients. Excipients may differ. What are excipients? These are those compounds which don't have effect on you. For example, lactulose, soy oil, gluten, etc. Generic versions are cheap, almost 80% less in cost than the corresponding branded drugs. It is because there is no need for separate research and development of the drug. Huge competition among the drug manufacturers due to which prices are also low. No need to waste money in separate advertisement. Generic drugs are made without patent. No patent for generic drugs. Although the medicine can be patented, but it is raw material. Material cannot be patented. Can I rub it? Generic drugs are also called non-proprietary. In contrast to branded drugs, they are called proprietary drugs. Proprietary means they are protected by the patent. Now, generic drugs are called non-proprietary. Non-proprietary drugs. A generic name is given, their nomenclature is given by some competent authority like United States adopted name, USAN, British approved name, Council. The word generic is etymologically incorrect. Etymologically, the word generic is incorrect. It should be applied to the group or genus of the compounds like phenothiazines. to any group of compounds or genus of compounds. TCAs, tricyclic and antidepressants, aminoglycosides are antibiotics, aminoglycosides, beta lactamases, cephalosporins, penicillins. So we should apply, it should have been applied to these genera of drugs, but because this is a misnomer and it is unlikely to be corrected because of wide usage, including that in official parlance. The generic name of an acetyl paraminophenol is acetaminophen in USA or paracetamol in the rest of the world. Generic drugs may be sold under its generic name or under a new brand name when it is called a branded generic. Branded generic. Some people refer to the term branded generic. What is branded generic? These are uh, uh, these are the generic drugs which are sold under a new brand name, but not under the brand name which was proposed by the original manufacturer. These are called branded generics. Now, identification. You have seen the difference between generic drugs, branded drugs, nomenclature, and their properties. Now, how to identify? This is the main question. How you can how you can identify which drug have you taken when you are at the chemist shop. I will tell you the difference or the main points which you will take into consideration while buying a drug at the chemist shop. First, let us see about the um, counterfeit drugs. Counterfeit drugs. I have taken this first because most of the people who don't um, have the enough knowledge regarding this subject, uh, they often claim that the drugs are fake, but um, all drugs are not fake at all times. We will see what are fake drugs and how you can identify them. Counterfeit drugs. These are the drugs which are also called fake drugs. Fake drugs. How you will identify them? Usually there are spelling mistakes in packaging. Unknown manufacturer. Unknown manufacturer. You don't know the company which has produced the drug. These fake drugs are counterfeit drugs. These are very dangerous. Why? Because they don't mention what exactly is contained in this package, or they hide the uh, uh, actual composition of the package. So, this is about the counterfeit drugs. Another term you will come across is the substandard drugs. Substandard drugs. What are substandard drugs? You should suspect about the drug of being substandard if patient fails to respond to the treatment despite definite diagnosis, if unusual drug reaction occurs, uh, There is no intention to fool or deceive the customer, but the company don't follow good approved manufacturing practices regulated by FDA. There is no no care is taken about good manufacturing practices uh, by regulating body FDA, US FDA. Simply saying these drugs fall below the standard, hence they are called substandard drugs. And the, the manufacturer is known. There is known manufacturer, and there is no intention to deceive the patients. But the result because of no care taken regarding the good manufacturing practices which are prescribed by the regulator or FDA. These are called substandard drugs. And the third, branded drugs. What are branded drugs? How can you identify them? We have seen what are branded drugs. Now, how to identify them? Branded drugs. Here, the name is always capitalized. Name is always capitalized. It is labeled with superscript, symbol letter R. If this is the drug, for example, Panadol, it will come like this. It will display as like this. The um, this indicates the superscript or indicates that it is a registered trademark. So how will you identify branded drugs? They are capitalized. The name is always capitalized, and they are labeled with superscript R. And third, the drug is settled in patent. There has not yet been any generic version for the drug. So this way you can identify the branded drug. And the last is the generic drug. Generic drugs. How you can identify the generic drug? Simply, packaging is usually not so attractive. No attractive packaging. No attractive package packing like branded drugs. Branded drugs, the manufacturer need to uh, adjust the package of the drugs in such a way that the patients or the customers, he has to attract the buyers or the customers. But here in this case, in the case of generic drugs, they don't need to advertise. They don't uh, need to attract the patients, because this work has also already been done by the manufacturer till this was in patent. And second, name is always in small letters. In contrast to the above, here name is always in small letters. Mm. Generic drugs come either with a generic name like paracetamol simply with the generic name, or simply it there will be written as they can write as acetaminophen and no other name, or they can come with the name when they are called branded generics. Branded generics. This was all about the identification when you are at the chemist shop or when you are going to buy the medicine, how you can identify whether the drug is counterfeit drug, it is whether it is substandard, whether it is a branded drug, or whether I am taking the generic drugs. So you imagine a world without sufficient access to inexpensive basic medicine, the availability of more drugs at lower costs to those who cannot afford expensive branded drugs is why generic drugs are permitted. There are a lot of people in the world who are not able to buy the heavy branded drugs. So there is the another way that the same compound, same active drug they can buy in another form, which we call the generic drug. I think this is enough for today. Thank you. Class dismissed.